Welcome, everyone, to the 50th episode of our Travel Experiences podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rasmussen, and I'm so excited to be here at episode 50. It's such a cool milestone, in my opinion, and just to look back on a year of this podcast now, and to just see how far it's come and all the people I've met and all the places I've gone and seen and all of that. And it's just, I don't know, it's so cool to be at this point. And because it is the 50th episode, it would be one of my experiences. This time I'm going to do a 50th episode special because as I'm recording this, I am sitting in my hotel room in Fairbanks, Alaska, which means that I have checked off all 50 states. I've been to all 50 of the states. And so I thought 50th episode, 50 states, both big numbers there. So I wanted to do something special. And so I'm going to kind of rank all the states that I've been to. And I got to say, it took me a long time to try to make this list. But I'll kind of go through each state and talk a little bit about them, my experiences, and just kind of rank them in terms of my very biased and just experiential background with each state. So this list definitely could change in the future as I explore more of each of the states and as life changes. But I did go back and forth on this for a long time, trying to put the states where I thought they'd go for me personally. So this is a very biased list, very personal to me, and not necessarily correct in any means. But let's jump into it here. So we're going to start it off with number 50, and that is Nebraska. So Nebraska, I've spent the least amount of time in Nebraska of all the states. It wasn't that exciting from what I remember. It's been a few years now, I think 5 or 6 years since I've been there. But I'm putting it at the bottom partially because that is where I got my first speeding ticket as I was driving through. It was in the middle of the night, and I got pulled over in the middle of nowhere with no cars around. So that was kind of annoying too. But anyways, that's number 50, Nebraska. Number 49 is New Jersey. So I spent a little bit of time in New Jersey on 2 different occasions. One with my sister when we went to New York, and I did enjoy it there. That was up in near the New York area, and I did enjoy that. We went to the Carlo's Bake Shop. I forget what else we did there. But that was in the Newark area, and down below in Hoboken. Nothing super exciting from what I remember. And then just recently, earlier this year, I actually stayed in New Jersey with a friend in the just across from Philly. I don't remember the exact town, but kind of the Camden, New Jersey area around there. And it was nice. There were some nice areas there. It was pretty, but again, nothing like super exciting or nothing that really stood out to me. So that's why it's number 49. I'm sure if I go back and explore more of the state, because I really didn't explore much of the state at all, that ranking would change for me. All right, number 48, Virginia. This is probably the second least state that I've spent the second least amount of time in. And it was really all in the DC area, up around DC, in Arlington, Alexandria. I gotta say that the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Arlington National Cemetery, absolutely incredible. Definitely have to visit if you're in the DC area. But that was really the only thing that, that stood out to me there. I guess the Pentagon's there too. That was cool, but I didn't spend a lot of time there, so I gotta rank it lower. but I know there's a lot of amazing places in Virginia, and so I need to go back and explore more of the state. I did a podcast with a couple people from Virginia actually this year, and they really got me excited to go back there and explore the state a little bit more. So I'll have to do that. All right, number 47, Mississippi. Again, haven't spent a ton of time here, basically one day. I did enjoy our time there. I went with my sister, and when we were in New Orleans, and we went to Biloxi and Gulfport, just along the Gulf, and yeah, it was fun from what we saw. It was fun driving through there, down by the water, seeing all the houses down there. We went to one of the casinos, the Beau Rivage Resort Casino. Lost some money there, so I guess that makes it a little bit lower. But it was kind of cool going along the water there and seeing what all is there. Kind of like a little Vegas there in Biloxi. But yeah, that was fun. It was good weather and everything too. It was fun to. I think we got a summer storm or something like that too. But yeah, it was fun. And I do need to explore more of the state. Need to go up into the middle of the state there. But again, nothing super like exciting that stood out. So it's coming in at 47. And number 46 is going to be Kentucky. So Kentucky, I did get to drive through a little bit of Kentucky way back when. I think the last time I was there was 2014. And it was beautiful. We got to go to Mammoth Cave, which is incredible. Definitely worth visiting there. One of the national parks. It's awesome. And we went to the Corvette Museum, which unfortunately, like right after we got back from that trip, it had there's a sinkhole and it collapsed, and part of the Corvettes got destroyed in that, which was sad. But Louisville's a really cool town. It was cool to go to the Kentucky Derby and walk through there. We got a tour of the racetrack there, and fun to see Seattle Slew up there, which is near and dear to my heart and our family. And then just being there in the town, it was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I need to go back because I was young at the time and didn't explore a ton of the rest of the state. But yeah, it was great from what I experienced. So 46 is Kentucky, and now 45, Minnesota. So heading up north here, Minnesota. Again, haven't and this is going to be a recurring theme. I've only been to a few cities, or one or two cities in each of these states, or a lot of these states. So it's hard to get a full picture of the state. But I spent some time in Minneapolis, St. Paul, in that area, and really enjoyed it. Minneapolis is a cool city. The football stadium there is insane. Mall of America is ridiculously big. It's wild. And seeing the Capitol there in St. Paul was a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool art there, and a lot of amazing things to see in the Twin Cities. Got to go to a baseball game as well. That was fun. Being there in the summertime was great. It was very humid, but I really enjoyed it there. So I want to get up north for sure and see up there like Duluth in that area. But other than Minneapolis, I'm not sure what else we got there. So anyone from Minnesota, please let me know what else there is to see there, because I would love to know. But number 45 is Minnesota. And number 44 is Delaware. We're heading back to the East Coast here. So Delaware, earlier this year, I spent some time in Wilmington, and it was a lot of fun for the basically like day that I spent there. I didn't even spend a full day there, but I guess it was a full day. Wilmington's a really cool town. Looks like COVID might have really heard it a little bit, but there's some cool sites there, some good history. I went out to what was the name of that place? The estate, the DuPont estate. I don't remember what the actual name of it was, but that was really pretty and interesting to see and kind of learn a little bit about the history of the DuPonts there. But again, I haven't explored the rest of the state. I haven't gone down to Dover or anything like that. So I need to explore more, but I feel like I saw everything that I wanted to see in Wilmington, and I don't feel a huge need to go back anytime soon. So there's that, and that's why it's coming in at number 44. And right next door, number 43 is Maryland. So when I was on the DC trip that I went on back in 2018, I actually flew into Baltimore, and that's where I started my trip. And again, haven't explored the rest of the state, so I can't speak for the rest of the state, but I did spend a lot of time in Baltimore, seeing Fort McHenry National Monument was amazing. Got to go by the football stadium. Let's see what else. Got to see a baseball game at Camden Yards, which was awesome. Such a cool stadium there. What else was there that I saw? On the map here, Federal Hill. I walked around a lot of the town. Edgar Allan Poe's grave. I think, what was it, Babe Ruth House or something like that. A lot of cool stuff in Baltimore. Definitely a town worth visiting. I I can't see myself living there or going back to explore a lot more anytime soon. So that's why it's ranked lower in this. Just because I felt like I saw everything I wanted to see, and I wouldn't want to spend winter time there or anything like that. So number 43 is Maryland. And number 42, Illinois. So we're headed back out to the Midwest here. Again, this is because I haven't explored much other than Chicago. So I've been in Chicago a couple times, and honestly, Illinois is this high, or is coming in at 42, rather than a lower ranking because of Wrigley Field. I got to see a Cubs game at Wrigley Field, and it was amazing. Such a cool experience. I got to go up in the Willis Tower, which was awesome. Cloudgate, Millennium Park is amazing as well. There's a lot of great sites in Chicago. I did really enjoy my time. Navy Pier there is awesome as well. But Chicago is a massive city, and I hate flying in there. I hate that airport. It's such a pain, in my opinion. So I don't particularly enjoy it there, but I'm sure there's other stuff outside of Illinois. I would love to get down further to like Springfield and Peoria and all of those places. So I have to go back, but number 42 is Illinois. And I'll pause here, not to say that I don't like any of these. I honestly have loved all my time in all of these states and all of my experiences. I'm just, again, going off of a very biased opinion and just thinking about, where I could live, where would I want to go back to, and all those sorts of things when I'm factoring this into the rankings. So you'll see as we get further along, I am West Coast biased. I've lived on the West Coast my entire life, and I definitely prefer the West Coast vibe to some of these bigger cities and stuff like that. So definitely biased there. But anyways, this whole list is biased. All right, continuing on. Number 41 is Tennessee. And this is a place that I definitely need to go back to now that I'm older and go explore more of the state. I've really only spent time in Nashville, and I was younger at the time. I was not 21 during that time, which I think Nashville, nowadays especially, being 21 is a big deal there. There's a lot of a lot of great stuff downtown, a lot of great bars. um, but I did really enjoy my time there. I thought Tennessee was beautiful. I know I got to go to, what was it, Andrew Jackson's estate, and went to the Opryland Hotel and all of that. And yeah, it was really pretty from all that I remember. But definitely need to go back and explore it more. So we'll see. But number 41 is Tennessee. And we'll start the top 40 here with West Virginia. So not too far away, West Virginia. I went here last year, 2021, and got to explore, got to drive through a lot of the state, actually. Where did I go? Charleston, West Virginia. Got to see the Capitol. Went up to, it drove through a lot. Went to Morgantown, to West Virginia University. I thought it was really pretty. It's definitely very hilly compared to a lot of the rest of that area. Yeah, I thought it was really, really beautiful from what I saw. Seems like it is a poor state that, and COVID, I think, really hurt it a lot. But I enjoyed driving through. I enjoyed the scenery. And so that's why it's coming in at number 40. And going not too far away again, number 39 is Indiana. So I've spent a decent amount of time there. I spent a lot of time in Indianapolis, and then I spent some time in Fort Wayne as well. Again, I need to go back again now that I'm older. I did go to Fort Wayne on that same trip to West Virginia, so last year. But Indianapolis was when I was younger. So I think there's more to see there and do there, and being an adult now. But anyways, Indianapolis was really fun. I remember, I don't know why this always stands out to me, but that's the first time I had White Castle was in Indianapolis. I didn't enjoy it then, but it is okay. The downtown area is really cool. I like the War Memorial and museum there. They got the Indianapolis 500 racetrack, which or the Motor Speedway. That was really fun to go to the museum there and actually go out on the track. That was super cool. The thing is massive. And what else do we see there? I can't remember what else. But yeah, I thought Indianapolis was cool. It's definitely not a city I would live in, which is why it's Indiana's getting a lower ranking here. But it was fun to visit. And Fort Wayne was actually a surprise. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it there. The downtown area looks like it's had a lot of revitalization. It was really cool. I really enjoyed the bar that I went to there, the rooftop bar that overlooks the baseball stadium, and just walking around down there. It was really pretty, and I would definitely go visit again for sure. So number 39, Indiana. And number 38, North Carolina. This is pretty much getting ranked lower just because I really haven't spent any time there other than in Charlotte for basically 2 days. So yeah, I need to go back and explore the Durham-Raleigh area, go down to Wilmington, and over there, just explore a lot more of the state. But yeah, Charlotte was amazing. I really enjoyed Charlotte. That's a really beautiful town. The tour that we took there was awesome. The funny bus tour. I don't remember the name of it actually, but that was a lot of fun. NASCAR Hall of Fame is really cool. What else do we do there? I just kind of walk around the downtown area. Really pretty. Lots of good food there. Good drinks. But yeah, like I said, I haven't seen much else in the state, so that's why it's getting ranked lower here. And number 37, Michigan. So headed back to the Midwest. Michigan, again, this is getting ranked lower because I haven't spent much time there. This is definitely one I need to go back and and spend some time in. But from what I saw, it was beautiful. I liked Ann Arbor, uh, seeing the University of Michigan. That was amazing. Um, that's really all I saw, to be honest. I drove through a lot of the state, but didn't stop at anything in particular. So I need to get back and explore Detroit more, go to Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and then get up to uh, northern Michigan because I know it's really pretty up there. So because of those things, because I know that there's a lot more to see and do there, it's getting ranked higher than it might otherwise from what I saw. But that's where we're at. All right, number 36, New Mexico. So headed out west. I think this is the first western state over here. New Mexico. I love driving through it. I drove through when I was on my big road trip. Went to Santa Fe and Albuquerque, and then west through Gallup. Albuquerque is a beautiful town. Lots of great history there. Going up to, what was it, Sandia Peak. That was a ton of fun as well. Seeing the nuclear war or the nuclear museum, whatever that's called. Santa Fe's got so much culture, so much history. Yeah, really love the downtown area there. They have like the state history museum there. But yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful scenery. I love driving through. I would love to go down to Las Cruces and over to was it Carlsbad Caverns and see that, or the White Sands, and go to that place in Roswell and all of those areas. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's not a place that I would probably live. Very sparse and not my type of landscape necessarily. So that's why it's coming in at 36. And I'm going to pause here. All right. All right. Number 35, Oklahoma. So I spent a few different days in Oklahoma. It was in the wintertime, and was it winter of 2020? I think. Yeah, either 2020 or 2021. So COVID was still a bit of an issue. I think, especially that time of year, because it was like December, I think. Um, it definitely seemed like there was not very many people out and about doing things. But I really loved being in. I stayed in Bricktown, which is an awesome area of downtown Oklahoma City. Such a cool area there. My hotel room overlooked the baseball stadium there, which was awesome. And was it the National Memorial and Museum there, kind of commemorating the bombing that happened there. That was great to go through. The state capitol, the history center, all of that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I also spent some time. Oh yeah, the National Cowboy, Western Heritage Place. That was cool as well, and spent some time in Tulsa as well. Tulsa was fun. Again, it looked like it had been kind of decimated by COVID a little bit, but some quirky things there. I like the art. The Center of the Universe thing was really cool. They got what was it called? Like the Tulsa Art Museum or something like that. I don't know. There's an art place that I went to that was really good. And then just driving through Oklahoma, I love the open skies, the open roads. I went to Oklahoma State at Stillwater. Got to look around that campus a little bit. That was a lot of fun. But I love the openness of it, and I think it's a very underrated state. So I'm bumping it up to 35 here because I think it deserves to be a state that people go to and visit because I think there's a lot of great things there. So number 35, Oklahoma, and number 34 is Georgia. So haven't spent much time there other than in Atlanta. I know there's way more to the state than just Atlanta, so I need to go back and explore more of that. But Atlanta was a ton of fun. The world of Coca-Cola was fun to go through. Seeing the stadium there, that was awesome. The College Football Hall of Fame is a ton of fun to see as well. Olympic Park, good place to walk through. Really liked, definitely a walkable city in downtown Atlanta. Going to the Capitol was great. Seeing all the Martin Luther King Jr. stuff, the civil rights movement, that was awesome as well. There's a lot to see and do there, and really good food. I got to shout this place out if I can find it. Atlanta Breakfast Club. I went to that. I had it was like the peaches and cream chicken and waffles. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. But yeah, a lot of great things there. And then I drove through Western Georgia there, and enjoyed that as well. So number 34 is Georgia. And right above that, in terms of geography and in ranking, in my opinion, is South Carolina. And South Carolina is getting this rated this high because of Charleston specifically. I really loved Charleston. It was such a cool city. There's so much history there. Not all of it good, but going out to Fort Sumter, that was a ton of fun. Just seeing all the old buildings and all the history there. I mean, it was just amazing. The walking tour that we did there was wonderful as well. The plantations were amazing to see. Just so much to see and do there. So going out to Sullivan's Island as well. Yeah, so much around there. I definitely loved it. And then we drove through a lot of the state. Went to Columbia, to the Capitol. That was great as well. Not a lot of stuff in interior South Carolina, in my opinion. But yeah, University of South Carolina. Stop and see that too. There's a museum there as well. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun driving through. But I don't know. I didn't see like a ton of stuff that I would want to go back and see necessarily. So South Carolina is coming in at 33. All right, number 32, Alabama. So we're sticking in the South here. Alabama, I went on the same trip as I went to Atlanta, and drove through Auburn. Got to see the campus there, see the football stadium. That was pretty cool. As a sports fan, Montgomery. So this is why Alabama's getting ranked this high. Montgomery is a really cool town, in my opinion. I loved it. I loved seeing all of the civil rights movement things that they had there. As someone who grew up in the West, who grew up a long ways from slavery and all of that, as a white person, I obviously read about it in history books, and obviously it's a topic of conversation. But to actually go there and see it and experience it a little bit, it was really cool to me, and it just really helped me understand it a lot better. And I think everyone should go visit Montgomery and see what it's all about. But yeah, the state capitol there. Didn't get to go into the Rosa Parks Museum, which sucked. But the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, that was honestly hard to go through. That one's a tough one to go through, but well worth it. The Legacy Museum, which I think just opened in the last few years, that was crazy to go through, and definitely something that people should go see for sure. But yeah, Montgomery was amazing. I definitely wish I had more time there. It also would have been nice to go to Tuskegee, see that there. But yeah, that's why I'm putting Alabama at 32. I think there's a lot more to see and do there, and I just remember how much it affected me mentally to be there. So that's why it's coming in at 32. And moving up to 31, Ohio. So headed north. Ohio, I drove through a lot of the state actually. I started in Columbus on my trip there. Columbus is a fun town. Ohio State is crazy. It's an insane campus. Ohio Stadium was wild. And what else was in Columbus there? Can't remember what else, but really cool town. Obviously dominated by Ohio State there. So that was fun to experience a little bit. Drove through a lot of the states and then drove up to Cleveland and Akron area. You got the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is incredible if you're a football fan. Cleveland, I think, is actually a really cool city. Got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there. I went to a really cool place on the water right next to it there. And the Christmas Story House was fun to experience as well. What else? I stayed at a really cool part of the city that had a lot of great bars and restaurants and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I thought there was so much to see and do there. And then driving across to Toledo. Toledo was fun as well. They got the oh my gosh, what do they call that place? National Museum of the Great Lakes. That's what it was called. I really enjoyed that as well. That was interesting history that I didn't know about. It really surprised me about the Great Lakes. So I thought there was a lot to see and do in Ohio. So that's why it's coming in at 31. And just above that, number 30 is Iowa. So headed not too far away to the west. Iowa is getting ranked this high because one, I think it's a bit underrated. I know my friends from Iowa are going to disagree with me there, but I got to drive through a lot of Iowa, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because I was there in the summertime, and in the summertime it was beautiful. It was getting to late summertime, so the corn was getting pretty high, and the open skies, open scenery, just beautiful. And so I know I went to Iowa State, which was beautiful. Des Moines. So the state capital there has the coolest state library that I've seen out of all the ones I've been to. It was a really cool library there, and yeah, I really liked Des Moines actually. And then driving east across the state, I didn't get to go to Iowa City, which is a bummer, to the University of Iowa. That would have been fun to see, but Cedar Rapids was a fun time. Didn't get to spend a ton of time there, but I enjoyed that. And then going up to the Field of Dreams, that's part of the reason why we're getting such a high ranking here. Yeah, seeing the Field of Dreams was pretty amazing. I loved it out there, and would love to try and see one of the pro games that they're holding there now, because I wasn't even built when I went there. But yeah, it was amazing, and I actually really liked Dubuque as well, over on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Dubuque, actually went to a casino there and won some money in just a short amount of time. But anyways, I think there's actually a lot in Iowa, and I think in the summertime, it's a really fun place to experience. So that's why it's coming in at number 30. All right, and number 29 is Arkansas. So Arkansas, headed back down south here a little bit. So I've only been to the northwestern part of Arkansas, but I really, really enjoyed my time there. So that's why it's getting this high ranking. definitely need to go back and see more of the state. But my time in northwestern Arkansas was actually a lot of fun. It was during actually this time of year, Christmas time, and so there's a lot of lights up. There's a lot to see. Um, so I was in Fayetteville and Bentonville, going up to see where Walmart started. That was fun. Seeing the Christmas lights, University of Arkansas was beautiful. Got to go up to Eureka Springs, which is also a really cool town. Very quirky, but yeah, I really enjoyed it there. So I don't know. Again, I think it's an underrated state. I think it gets a lot of bad rap, so I'm ranking it higher. Um, I thought it was cool. So 29 is Arkansas. All right, number 28 is just below Arkansas here. It is Louisiana. So Louisiana, again, need to explore more of the state, but New Orleans is a place like any other, unlike any other. It is a crazy place. It's a ton of fun, and that's why Louisiana is getting ranked this high. There is so much history in New Orleans, so much to see and do and explore. The history there is insane. It's very unique, and yeah, just so much there, so much. Jackson Square, going to Cafe du Monde. You got Bourbon Street. All the great food. So many great food and unique food options. We got to see a basketball game there. Went to the World War II museum. There was the tour that we had at Lafayette Cemetery Number 1 and around. I think it was the Garden District, seeing all the mansions and things like that. Just so much there, and being there during Mardi Gras time, that was amazing as well. So yeah, New Orleans is amazing. That's why Louisiana is getting ranked this high. I know that there's more to see and do outside of that, so I need to go back and explore more. But yeah, such a cool place. Number 27, we're headed to the Northeast. That is Connecticut. So Connecticut, spent a decent amount of time here. Drove through a lot of the state. Hartford is a fun town. You got the state capitol there. It was very easy to walk around the downtown area. Cool little river walk there. Bushnell Park was fun. What else do they have there? I don't remember what else. But yeah, New Haven, fun college town. Got to walk through Yale's campus a little bit. There's a lot to see and do there as well. Driving along the coast, got to see Mystic, Connecticut, Mystic Pizza. Good pizza, actually. Lot to see and do there. So, yeah, Connecticut is coming in at 27, just because there's a lot to see and do. It's spread out throughout the state. So, there we go. Number 26, headed back to the Midwest, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is coming in at 26. I've driven through a lot of southern Wisconsin. I haven't spent time in northern Wisconsin, so I need to go back and see that. Get up to the Green Bay area for sure. But Madison, really cool college town. You got the Capitol there as well. One of the biggest capitals I think I've seen, maybe the biggest. But yeah, that's a fun spot. Going over the landscape there in southern Wisconsin, it's beautiful. Had a family reunion at Lake Delavan. Again, beautiful area as well. Milwaukee, spent lots of time there in Milwaukee. Lots to see and do there. Lots of good bars. I like walking around the town. You got the right on the lake there. So, yeah, in terms of things to see and do, the landscape, all of that, places I can maybe live in, at least in the summertime or warmer weather times, Wisconsin ranks up there. So number 26 is Wisconsin. All right, and before we enter the top 25, here are the top half of the states. We'll talk about D.C. Since it's not a state, but I have been to it. I got to throw it in there. I don't know where exactly I'd rank it. Probably, I don't know, probably towards the higher end, probably in the top 25, but I'm not sure. As a history buff, I love it. There's so much history there. I mean, you got all the national museums there. You got all the statues, the monuments, everything. The National Mall is absolutely insane. You can spend weeks there. It was amazing to get to go see the Capitol. Got to go to see the White House. Didn't get to go in. You got I took a tour where Lincoln got shot. That was actually a really fun tour. Washington National Cathedral. You got Georgetown. Yeah, there's so much there in Washington D.C. and the area where I stayed was really cool as well. So yeah, it's definitely a great place, fun place, uh, and you got a lot to see and do there. So I don't know where exactly I'd rank it, probably in the top half, but I would love to go back and explore more of it in the future too. So there we go. And now entering the top 25, we're going to start off with number 25, South Dakota. Again, I'm ranking this a little bit higher because I think it's very underrated. I've really enjoyed South Dakota and driving through there in the summertime. I thought it was totally worth it to drive through there in the summer. So I drove through a lot of central, like west central South Dakota there, and I went to the Badlands. Badlands are just an insane landscape. I see why it's a national park. It's beautiful. Going to Wall, South Dakota, and Wall Drug. That's a fun little tourist trap. I actually thought Rapid City was awesome. Cool little bar that I went to there, restaurant in an old firehouse, which I thought was fun. But then you got the Black Hills in the west, which are beautiful to drive through. You got Mount Rushmore, which is insane. That's part of the reason why it's getting ranked so high. You got the Crazy Horse Monument as well. And then going down to, Hot Springs and seeing Wind Cave National Park. That was really beautiful as well. The Hot Springs, you got the Mammoth site there. There's actually a lot to see and do. And being there in the summertime, I got some great summer thunderstorms, lightning storms, which was fun as well. So that's part of the reason why it's getting ranked this high. But yeah, definitely enjoyed it there. So number 25 is South Dakota. And again, just above it geographically and in ranking is North Dakota. So I drove through North Dakota on the same trip. Western North Dakota is where I spent most of the time. And seeing Teddy Roosevelt National Park, one of the most beautiful national parks, in my opinion. I got to see some bison just walking along the road. Basically reach out and touch them if I wanted to. Driving through there, beautiful landscape. I love the open road. Crazy lightning and thunder when I was driving through there, which was fun as well. Bismarck is a cool town. Got the state capitol there, the history museum there. Can't remember what else was there, but yeah, I enjoyed my time driving through the state, spending time there. I know there's more to see and do out there. So yeah, anyways, number 24 is North Dakota. All right, number 23 is Rhode Island. So headed back to the Northeast here. Rhode Island, spent some time in Providence and then driving down to Newport. Yeah, Providence, I really enjoyed that. State capital there. Really fun town. There's a lot there. The downtown's really pretty. There's so many cool little pockets there, little areas, good restaurants, food, drinks. Definitely, you could walk around a lot and see a lot in just a short amount of time. But yeah, fun little town there. And then driving down, I love the coastal coastal landscape and everything, driving through Bristol and Warren and down to Newport. I remember stopping in Warren and getting a coffee cabinet, which good like milkshake kind of thing. Fun little town there, little downtown with lots of shops, and then Newport. I mean, really iconic place. You got the International Tennis Hall of Fame, which, as a tennis player and tennis fan, was really exciting to see. You got the huge mansions, which are amazing. The Ocean Walk, or the Cliff Walk, is what it's called. And yeah, driving through a lot of the state there, I really enjoyed it there, and would recommend it. So number 23 is Rhode Island. And number 22, we're headed out west. I think this is only the second West Coast state or Western state, which is kind of crazy. I realize how biased I am, but number 23 or 22 is Utah. So I feel like Utah could be higher if I went to all of the national parks there. I've only been able to go to Canyonlands, so I need to go back and make it to all the national parks. Tried to go to Arches, but it was so packed that they wouldn't let us in, which is insane. But I think Utah's getting ranked this high because of the national parks, because of Moab. I really liked Moab, cool little town. I love the landscape. I love the scenery. The mountains are beautiful. I love my time in Salt Lake City. But driving through the Salt Lake City area, it's just a massive city, and the roads kind of suck, and not my favorite thing in the world, but also a lot of quirky rules in Salt Lake City or in Utah. But it is beautiful. I love the Western landscape, the openness, the mountains, everything. So 22 is Utah. And 21, we're going back to the Midwest here, Kansas. Now you're thinking, why it was Kansas 21? Well, I actually thought Kansas was an amazing state to visit. Again, I think it's getting rated higher because I think it is underrated. I think there is a lot to see and do there. And I actually felt like I didn't get to see everything that I wanted to see. I remember going with my dad, and we went to Lawrence. We got to see the University of Kansas, which was fun because as sports fans, getting to see that, pretty cool to see all the history there. Topeka, I thought was really cool. It got a fun downtown, lots of history there. Evel Knievel Museum, which was pretty cool. What else? State Capitol, I think, is there. I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. Probably am. Yeah, what else do we do there? We drove over to Abilene, Kansas, to the Eisenhower Presidential Library, which was amazing from what we got to see. Unfortunately, because of all the COVID rules and everything, the hours that they were open was really small, and so we didn't get to we had to rush through that, which kind of sucked. So definitely want to go back and explore that more. But then actually right across the street was the Greyhound Racing Hall of Fame, which I remember my dad taking us to, me and my sister to, when we were kids down in Arizona. So it was kind of fun to go see that as well and learn a little bit more about Greyhound racing. And I think there's stuff to do in Wichita, which I didn't get to go to either. But I really enjoyed it. There's a lot there actually. And again, being there in the summertime, it's beautiful. The wide open country, the sunsets, they're all amazing. So that's why Kansas is coming in at 21. And hitting the top 20 now. We're going a little bit to the west here. Wyoming is coming in at number 20. Now I'm kind of biased to Wyoming because we went there every year when I was a kid. Family would go hunting over there in Wheatland, which is kind of a little bit near Cheyenne, just north of it. I've driven through Wyoming multiple times. Actually, I've not been to Yellowstone, which is insane, but that's part of the reason why it's going to get ranked higher here as well. Um, from what I've seen, Yellowstone's amazing, so I need to go there. But I loved Casper. I love driving through. I love the wide open scenery. Cheyenne is a really cool town. I love spending some time there, especially in the summertime. Laramie, getting to see the University of Wyoming. But I love that frontier life. The wide open spaces, the land untouched by humans kind of thing. That definitely ranks Wyoming higher for me. So that's why it's coming in at number 20. And moving back to the east, this is one of the highest rated eastern states, but Missouri. I guess Missouri's Midwest. I don't know. So I've been to Missouri on a few different occasions. Kansas City in the western part of it is a really awesome town. There's so much there in Kansas City. Got to see a Royals game there, which was a lot of fun. St. Louis in the east, beautiful. You got the arch there. I thought there was a lot to see and do in St. Louis as well. You got the Cardinal Stadium. And then going out into the center of the state, Fort Leonard Wood is why we went there to see my sister. You got Uranus, Uranus, Missouri. That's a fun little town there next to Fort Leonard Wood. Being out there, I love, again, the landscape. It's beautiful, and I think because there is so much to see and do in the state, in different parts of the cities, or in different cities around the state, that's why it's getting ranked at number 19. All right, number 18, Pennsylvania. Here's an East Coast city, or East Coast state. So Pennsylvania, part of the reason why I'm ranking it this high is because I know that there's more to see out there than all that I got to see. But I first went to Pennsylvania when I went to Pittsburgh for a conference in the winter, in February. Not the best time to be there, but from what I got to see and experience there, I did enjoy Pittsburgh. I love all the bridges there. You got the stadiums there as well. I think Pittsburgh is a cool little town. And then I just recently this year went to Philadelphia. All of the history there is amazing. I just love walking in the footsteps of some of the people that created all of this country. So and there's so many museums there. The Rocky statue was a lot of fun to see. The Liberty Bell. Eating some cheesesteaks, those were good as well. Got to see a baseball game. So much in Philly for sure. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. And then I've driven through a lot of the eastern part of the state. I love the hills out there, the landscape in eastern Pennsylvania. So combine all of that, and Pennsylvania's number 18. And then number 17 is Florida. So headed down south here, Florida. I've really only gotten to experience Central Florida. So Orlando, the Space Coast, and Tampa, St. Petersburg area. So I haven't got to go down to Miami yet, or up north to Jacksonville or Tallahassee or anything like that. But Orlando was fun. I definitely could see, like, in the future going to Disney World and all of that would be a good time. For me, the big thing is getting to see the Space Coast, getting to see Cape Canaveral, the Kennedy Space Center. That was, as a space nerd, space fan, I really, really enjoyed that. So that's part of why Florida's getting ranked this high. On the other side, though, the Tampa area, St. Petersburg, St. Pete Beach, Clearwater. I love the beaches out there and everything. Kind of living the island life a little bit without being on an island, or I guess being on an island. But yeah, loved it out there. And then again, I think there's a lot more in Florida to do and see. You got the Everglades down south, Key West, all of that. So combine all of that, and I'm putting Florida at number 17. And then number 16, we're headed out west to Oregon. So just below where I grew up and spent a lot of my life, Oregon. Um, I'm ranking it here because I do think it's really beautiful. I love the landscape. Crater Lake definitely bumps it up. I think Bend and Sun River are beautiful. Out in the east, you got Pendleton, Baker City, fun little towns there. You got, I remember going to Coos Bay, which is a fun little town right on the water. Haven't explored really like Eugene, Salem area, but I know they're really beautiful as well. Portland is a fun place to visit. There's stuff there to see and do, but it's definitely not a place I'd want to live. I love driving along the coast. You got Lincoln City, Cannon Beach, Seaside. I love all of that. So I do rank it pretty high. It is a fun place to visit. I probably wouldn't live in Oregon, but yeah, love visiting it. All right, number 15, Nevada. So Vegas, I mean, Vegas is a crazy place. I mean, so much to see and do there. I've been to Vegas a couple times. It's really fun. I like all the bright lights and everything. Getting to see the Hoover Dam, that definitely ranks Nevada higher. I thought that was incredible. Up further north, you got Reno, you got Carson City. I guess a little bit of Lake Tahoe. That's a beautiful area. I love the history in Carson City, and then Reno's a fun place as well. I've been to Reno a few times, but yeah, I thought there was a lot to see and do in Nevada. I love the landscape. I love the kind of Wild West vibe out there. So I think we go Virginia City. That's a cool little place as well. But I don't know. There's a lot to see and do there, and so that's why Nevada's getting ranked 15. And headed back out to the east, number 14 is New York. So I'm probably could rank this higher if I explored more of New York than just the Manhattan area or just the New York City area. I definitely need to go to upstate New York, go to Albany, go over to Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Lake Placid up there. So there's a lot more there, which is part of why it's getting ranked so high. I feel like, a lot of people might put New York as number one or in their top 5 or something. And I mean, New York City does make it get ranked higher, but also it's part of why it gets ranked lower for me. Not a place that I want to live. New York City is amazing. I love such how insane the place is. I mean, you got so much there. You got the Statue of Liberty, you got the Empire State Building, you got anything and everything you want is there in Manhattan. Going out to see the Yankees, you got Central Park, so many iconic places, Times Square, going over to Brooklyn. There's so much, and it is beautiful. I've experienced it a few times now. Great place, beautiful place, but I hate getting around there. I don't want to live there, and so that's why it's getting ranked at 14 for me, because of that internal conflict. All right, number 13. We're headed out west again, Arizona. I spent a lot of time driving through Arizona. Spent a lot of time in many different parts of it. Going to Phoenix, Tucson. I think Tucson is really where I first spent time in Arizona, down in Green Valley there. Tubac, I remember going to Tubac. Uh, but Tucson's a fun little town. Spent multiple times there. Yuma out west is a fun place to visit. Um, Phoenix, there's so much there. It is a massive city. Getting out to Apache Junction. I remember going up into the mountains to Tortilla Flat. Um, yeah, there's a lot there. And then up north, of course, you got the Grand Canyon, which is part of why this is getting ranked at 13. Flagstaff is amazing. You get the Winslow Meteor Crater, Petrified Forest National Park, all beautiful places. The Meteor Crater is insane. I think everyone should visit that. I also really enjoyed the Petrified Forest as well. But again, the wide open landscape, all the different things to see and do throughout the state. That's why it's coming in at number 13 for me. And number 12, we're headed up to the Northeast. This is going to be a bit of a Northeast swing here, but number 12 is going to be Vermont for me. So I just recently went to Vermont a few months ago. Being there in the fall with the leaves changing, it is absolutely insanely beautiful. I love the rolling green hills. The vibe out there in Vermont is awesome. It's such a beautiful place. Montpelier is a fun town. The capital there is great. Burlington, I thought, was a cool little quirky town. Stowe is a beautiful resort area. Just driving through the countryside there was a ton of fun. And that was definitely an amazing state. So that's why it's coming in at number 12 for me. And then at number 11, I have New Hampshire. So right next door. This was all on the same trip. Again, the scenery out there is amazing. It's beautiful. The leaves changing is awesome. Franconia Notch State Park is insane. Got the state capitol in Concord. What else? The White Mountains, beautiful. I think it's the Kankamangas Highway. That was just such a great little trip there. Lincoln, Conway. There's so much there. So beautiful throughout the whole state. And I definitely go back and drive through more of it. But yeah, just beautiful. So I really enjoyed it there and could see myself living there. So I also like their motto of live free or die. I like that. So number 11 is New Hampshire. And then again, right next door, number 10 is Maine. Acadia National Park is absolutely insane. Definitely one of my favorite national parks. One of the most beautiful for sure. Getting to see the state capitol in Augusta, driving along the coast. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. But in the interior, you got all the forests and the kind of untouched landscape. You got the lakes. Yeah, there's so much there. So, just such a beautiful area. Portland, I really liked Portland, Maine as well. I actually really enjoyed the downtown there. Yeah, so that's why Maine's number 10. It's the start of the top 10 here. I would love to go back and explore more of the northern part of Maine as well. But yeah, the whole Northeast there, beautiful. Definitely recommend. All right, number 9. We're headed out west again. I think we're out west for most of the rest of this, but number 9 is Idaho. So a little bit biased here because I lived in the Post Falls, Coeur d'Alene area for a little bit. And I've driven through a lot of Idaho. It's beautiful. I love the western landscape. I love the mountains. I love the openness. Boise's a really, really cool town. A lot to see and do there. You got the Craters of the Moon out there. McCall up in the mountains. Lewiston and Moscow are fun little towns. Coeur d'Alene is part of why this is getting ranked so high. Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls area is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't been to Coeur d'Alene, I highly recommend. It's beautiful there, and yeah, I love the Idaho vibe. it's fun. And so with all the beauty, the natural landscape there, everything going on there, it's number 9 for me. All right, number 8 is Hawaii. So we're headed way out west to Hawaii. I've only spent time on Maui, so I think maybe if I went back and explored more of it, I would rank it higher. Part of why it's not higher is because you are stuck out there on an island, and I don't particularly enjoy that. But yeah, Maui is absolutely incredible. What a cool place! I remember getting to see and do so much out there. Um, just everything's amazing. Haleakala is great. Spending time in Lahaina, going up to the north side. Got to zip line. We got to do a helicopter ride there. I mean, it's just beautiful. Living the island life is awesome. And so yeah, Hawaii's coming in at number 8. I don't think I need to promote that one too much for all the listeners here. And then number 7 is Texas. So Texas, part of the reason why it's so high is because there is so much to see and do there. And I definitely have not got to see and do all of it. So I've really only spent time in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, a little bit west of there, and then down in Austin and Waco in those areas. So, I haven't even got to go to San Antonio or Houston or go out west to Lubbock or see the Big Bend National Park or anything like that. So that's part of why it's getting ranked so high. But the Fort Worth, Dallas area is amazing. Fort Worth is awesome city. There's a lot to see and do in Dallas as well. With my family, some of my family being from Texas and getting to see some of the history there. That was definitely amazing as well. Waco is a cool area. You got Baylor, which is an insane campus. Austin is such a fun town. It's so quirky and weird, but I love Austin. Yeah, a lot to see and do there. And then just driving through again, you got the wide open landscape. Texas is its own thing, and I like that vibe. And yeah, just such a unique place, unique state. So that's why Texas is number 7 for me. And the last one for the top 5, number 6 is Montana. So I've driven through most of Montana at this point. Missoula, fun college town. A lot to see there. Spent some time in Butte, which is really cool, actually. I do like Butte and around that area. You can go up to Great Falls. You got Helena, all great little towns. Bozeman is such a hot place right now. Billings out towards the east is fun as well. You got the wide open landscape out east. But yeah, Montana is just definitely one of the most beautiful states out there for sure. I love the openness, the big sky country. Yeah, you got everything there. I like, the lack of people as well is nice. You can just drive forever. Montana's amazing for sure. So that's why it's coming in at number 6 for me. All right, so now we're into the top 5 here. So I kind of struggled with this one. I wasn't sure if I should put Montana above this one or not, but the final East Coast state, if you haven't guessed already, number 5 is Massachusetts. And I think there's so much out here. I do. This is definitely my favorite East Coast state. Boston is just an awesome city. I thought for being a big city, especially on the East Coast, it was very walkable and easy to get around. There's so much there. So many schools there, so much history there. Yeah, you could spend a lot of time there. Salem is a fun place as well. Spent a couple times in Salem. You got Plymouth Rock down south a little bit. You could go out to Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard. Um, out east, Springfield. I really like Springfield as well. You got the National NBA Hall of Fame there. Dr. Seuss Museum. There's a lot. There's a lot there in Massachusetts, and I like the landscape. I like the scenery of it. Really enjoyed it there. So that's why Massachusetts is coming at number 5. Fenway Park too. Yeah, there's so much. So number 5 is Massachusetts, and number 4 is the state that I am in right now, the mighty Alaska. So having only been to Fairbanks and going up to the Arctic Circle and all of that, I've only seen one small part of the state. I know that there's a lot more and a lot of different landscapes and stuff like that, and that's part of why it's getting ranked so high. I think there's so much here. The landscape is absolutely insane. Right now it's wintertime, so there's less than 4 hours of daylight where I'm at. It's, I don't know, such a wild place out here. It's such an untouched landscape, I feel like. So yeah, just being out here. I mean, I got to see the pipeline yesterday. I got to see the Northern Lights yesterday. Go to the Arctic Circle. I got to explore Fairbanks a little bit. I'm doing more exploring around the area today. Just such a cool place. Very unique here. So yeah. Anyways, it's a crazy place, and I think if I explored more of it, it might be ranked even higher than number 4. But because I haven't ranked, or because I haven't seen more of it, I can't rank it higher than this. But it is definitely in the top 5 already, just the short amount of time I've been here. So there we go. Number 4, Alaska. And all right, top 3. We got 3 left here. Number 3 is California. And these top 3 are kind of hard for me to choose, but I'm going with number 3, California. There is so much to see and do in California. There's so much diversity in the landscape from north to south. Having lived in San Diego, I'm definitely biased towards Southern California. I love San Diego. Definitely, I would say it's my favorite city in the U.S. It's beautiful. You got all the national parks there. You got Death Valley. You got Joshua Tree. I've been out to Mojave as well. The Channel Islands are amazing. Up north, you got the Redwoods. You got Yosemite. I mean, there's so much. San Francisco, the Bay Area is beautiful as well. I mean, the city is iconic. The Golden Gate Bridge. I was just in Sacramento, which was a really fun time. Yeah, anything that you want, it's in California, Santa Barbara. You got the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo. I mean, I've explored all up and down, California. I've really enjoyed it, and having lived there, I'm definitely biased towards it as well. Catalina Island, you got LA. I didn't even mention LA. It's one of my least favorite parts of California, to be honest. But there's so much to see and do there. You got Disneyland, Santa Monica, Pasadena. Yeah, I love California. So that's why it's number 3. And number 2 is my home state. So a little bit of bias here, but I do believe it is one of the most beautiful states out there. Number 2, Washington State. Yeah, I mean, I've traversed all over Washington State. There's so much to see and do in the Seattle area. You got the 3 national parks: Olympic, North Cascades, and Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is iconic, is beautiful. Out in the east, it is a different landscape, but it's beautiful as well. I love Spokane area. A lot to see and do there. North Cascades are beautiful. You got the islands. I love Whidbey Island. Going up to Bellingham is beautiful. Over to Ocean Shores on the Pacific. I mean, so much. It's so beautiful. yeah, there's so much there. So, and having lived here a lot of my life and technically living there right now, I got to put it number 2. So that leaves one final state. If you haven't guessed it already, it is Colorado. So I'm putting Colorado at number 1. I haven't even got to explore as much as I would like of Colorado either. But I mean, the Rocky Mountains are insane. They're so beautiful. I love the Denver area. I love the vibe there. Spent a lot of time in Boulder. Boulder is just an absolutely insanely beautiful place. Rocky Mountain National Park is a ton of fun as well. I love Fort Collins. Over on the west side, you got Grand Junction. I haven't got to explore kind of southwest Colorado at all, but I drove through, Colorado Springs is amazing. Pikes Peak, that place is wild. There's so much there, and I love that it is, it's on the edge of the West and into the Midwest, and you got, the big open sky and the sunsets, but you also got the weather and you got the mountains and everything there. It's all there for you. So it's I would put it as the most beautiful. I don't know. It's pretty close between Washington and Colorado for most beautiful, but I think with all the things that they got going on there, I got to put Colorado as number 1. So there you have it. That's the list. I'm sure I pissed everyone off in this, but let me know what you think of that of this ranking. Let me know what you would pick differently, or where you would rate something else. What did you like? What would you agree with? What would you not agree with? I would love to hear from you. I love hearing what places people enjoy. But that was my very biased and West Coast opinionated list, and not having got to spend a lot of time in some states versus spending a lot of time in others. So, yeah, that's my list as it stands right now. Maybe I'll update this again another time, but yeah, there we have it. And I just want to say thank you to you all for listening for 50 episodes. That's so insane to think about, that this has been happening for 50 weeks now. And yeah, I'm excited for the next 50. We'll have to do something really big for the 100th episode. But thanks again to everyone, and I'll see you next time on episode 51. Hey everybody, Kyle here. If you enjoyed today's show and want more, you can always check out every episode on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and now Amazon Music as well. Just search for Our Travel Experiences on any of those platforms and it will pop up. You can also find everything all in one place on my website, ourtravelexp.com. And if you want to see my travel pictures as well as travel pictures from guests on the show, you can check them out on Instagram. The page is called Our Travel Experiences Podcast. And if you want to share your own pictures on the Instagram page or be a guest on the podcast, you can message me via that Instagram page or email me at ourtravelexperiences@outlook.com. I would love to see your pictures and hear about your travel experiences, so please send them my way. And if that isn't enough for you, make sure to check out my weekly YouTube show, From Around the World Fridays. Every Friday, I'm taking 5 to 10 minutes to answer questions from listeners, share some souvenirs that I bought over the years, share my postcards over the years that I've accumulated, or share videos and pictures from one particular city or country that I visited, and so much more. So check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed, and make sure you go subscribe to that as well. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you somewhere around the world soon.